See if we can find out more of the story. Again, I'm kind of annoyed that some of the places aren't showing up. See, then I don't know. Like I said, that was just what my cat was doing, and found out that it was just because she was kidney stones. At least that's what the vet said. Sup, Green Jeans? I literally just started. You haven't missed anything other than me picking up my allowance. How you doing this evening? Hey, Infinite. How you doing? We already got that. Let's do the root cellar again. See if we can get a shovel to make this worthwhile. Let the gold come to you. Feel like things are getting better. Oh, of course. Let's see. I'm going to start with a bedroom so I can gain some stippy steps. Ah, okay. Jealousy might be a thing too. Well, shoot. I think I'm going to do the extra items. Darn it, I wanted a shovel. Hey, I'll take the key card. I just saw that. And since we have the garage keys, let's go this way. Hallway should give... Okay, both of those are good. Let's go with den first. Get my star chart going. Diamondes. That's nice. Extra steps. And apples. All right. Now, I heard that we need to look at this a bit more, because now I see why. Now that brings it up and down. I need to move it side to side. Can I reach it from here? No. Okay. This one moves it side to side. Oops. Now we bring it down to try and get it this. I don't know what's in there. I was just told to look at it. Okay, how am I supposed to solve that? Am I supposed to bring it? Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, just trying to solve the little puzzles. Trying to find out as much information as possible. Wrong way. Well, no. I can use one more. One more. Hopefully that's enough. Nah, I think I need one more. You found a secret floor plan. Would you like to permanently add planetarium to your drafting pool? If you call it a day in the planetarium, gain 2 stars. All right, I'll take that. I'm glad to see everybody filtering in, everybody having good days. Yeah, I wasn't looking for spoilers, but I was given a hint to look closer at the telescope. I don't try to cheat in these games, but sometimes when you don't know what you're doing, I had to look at some hints. Well, at least, because I don't want to ruin the game for myself, but I at least want to, keep progressing if I can. In the last couple of times, I don't feel like I progressed too much, and I want to keep people interested in the game. I hope you guys don't feel like I cheated or something, but I was just looking at what possibly I could be missing. Let's go up again. Yeah, the garage. That's what I wanted here. Now that I have the car keys. Because it's not like there's much here. But there's always items in the trunk. And that's something I need for trying to get the... Right? Ha! Well, then that's what I try to do, is make sure that people have a good time. And if I'm just sitting here banging my head against the wall, I don't think that's fun for anybody. And I don't have the garage door open yet. Oh, thank you. I think commissary is a bit early. While I'm here, don't think there's. Yeah, because wasn't there one in one of these? I know one was in the observatory the night, like you said. Hey, we got a metal detector. Mmm, cheese pieces. And the din is a golden pawn, yeah. Which helps us solve that stupid puzzle. Well, I guess it's not a stupid puzzle because it's a smart one. That was an easy choice because we already have the key card. So I want to. Have I missed anything in the inventory? Nope. Let's see. Keycard settings. Change the security level to high. So we need fewer keys. And the offline mode to unlocked. Because the strategy there is if I, since I already have the key card and it's, a multi use key, and I add more key cards. Office, no. Archives is the best bet. I don't know if I always need a snack, but dang, I always want one. Takes a lot of self-control sometimes not to eat every time I think I'm hungry. So there's that, boarded up. See, both of those, I'm gonna re-roll. Yeah, darkroom links up here to there. Why the archives? Because the other is locked away. Ah, bad gamble. Beef stew pie. If I have a boiler room. So I just shot myself in the foot. Because I can't get to the foundation to move the minecart. Yeah. I locked every way forward. Because because I was in the dark room, I couldn't choose. Feel kind of dumb, but a quaint cottage. Thanks. Yeah, I screwed that up pretty badly. Thought I was doing good until I wasn't. Yeah, and if you're not going to make any more money, because that's the whole purpose. All right, see you soon. There's no point in, staying with the movie theater if you're not going to make better money. No, I lose too many steps. Classrooms to the draft. Shelter. We already solved all the things in the shelter. Whoops, didn't, yeah. Didn't this? Yeah, I thought so. Right? Well, especially since it's stuff that you actually like and care about, too. That's a big deal to me. Oh, is Raven still on? Wow, I'm surprised that I've got so much of an audience then. I just wanted to keep my schedule. It's his fault for, surprise streaming tonight. Yeah, exactly. $4 is $4. $4 is $4. Right, and that's fine. Don't have the gems. Nah, I know I've been a little off lately, but it's watching the news and crap, and I'm just trying not to think about it. Because it's just so annoying. Wait, the Nook had the Rook. Yeah, that's right. Classroom, which I still don't have a gem. Loop it. Let's just loop it, get the money. So there's actually a few things on the news. There's still the protests against ICE, which I don't really have a large opinion on. But there's also the Israel and Iran war, and Israel keeps trying to drag us into it. And it's not our war. It's not our problem. Now, if we had a signed peace treaty or something like that we would have to or always support them, that's one thing. But we really don't. We've always tried to have their back, but they, in my personal opinion, they instigated this war. They did a preemptive strike because they were afraid Iran might do something to them, but they hadn't yet, as far as I'm aware, or at least nobody's really said anything about it. So it's like, to me, it's like, no, it's a dumb war. It's not one that we should be involved in. It's a dumb war for America. I don't know about Israel. I mean, I don't live there. I don't have a strong feeling on that. I think that was the one I needed also. Yeah. Well, and, to be very interesting, to be very... the fact is that, one, with the ICE protests and all of that, basically people asked for it. Both sides. People sit here and can say what they want, but both sides instigated it. And now everybody's losing their freaking minds because, what's this? Everybody's losing their minds over the ICE raids, and yes, there's some bad stuff happening on one side, but there's also bad stuff happening on the other side. It's just being ridiculous. I mean, one, Seattle losing their minds over it makes no sense because there were no ICE raids going on in Seattle. They just protested to protest. It's not actually happening there. In some of the other cities, it makes sense. Hey, buddy, how's it going up there in that big house? I think most people would be pretty scared being alone for this length of time, but I have a feeling you're doing just fine. Right. Never thinking about the consequences that it might actually have on the people that they're trying to help. This literally just makes it look bad for everybody. I imagine you happy as a clam, perfectly content on the estate with the exploration and opportunities for adventure that present themselves each day. As I'm writing this, you're currently in the garage packing the tent. I wanted to try to post this letter before we depart tomorrow, so that it has a chance to arrive during your first few days on the estate. But with all the preparations, I'm not sure that I'm going to find the time. There's so much I want to say, and I'm sure I'll forget to tell you Friday night. Sometimes it's easier for me to just jot this stuff down. You're yelling at me right now to come bring you a pillowcase. Hold on a sec, I'll be right back. I can tell you're really excited, but I think you might feel a little guilty about being so happy the day after a funeral. Believe me, I know how long Uncle Herbert worked on setting this up for you. Right? Night-night, Tater. Love you. Believe me, I know how long Uncle Herbert worked on setting this up for you. And I know from our conversations just how much happiness this final project brought him. So do both of us a favor. Be excited. The house really is amazing. I know it's almost been 7 years since we were last up there, and I'm really curious to hear just how much you remember from those summer trips. You've always been smarter than me at this kind of thing, so I'm not sure how much guidance or inspiration I can offer before your trip that will actually be useful to you. Despite my best intentions, I'm sure that on Friday I'll end up leaving you with a few of my overused cliche expressions when we say farewell. Later, alligator, Dad. P.S. Get some sleep each night and don't spend all your time each day playing dirigiblocks. Right, it's a cute little letter. Wait, what? Instructions will be sent by electronic mail to the address client has provided. Okay, yeah, I already figured that out. Oh, and me without the frickin' magnifying glass. Please return all correspondence and packages addressed to Denny Ravain to sender, as he is no longer employed with our staff. Yeah, I can't read that without the magnifying glass. So far, I don't see anything for me. Okay. Yeah, wow, I gotta go all the way back to the entrance hall. And it's just, I'm not trying to tell people what to do with their time. I am all for the protests if you believe that something is going wrong, because I don't have a dog in that fight. To be perfectly honest, I don't. My family's been here longer than there's been in America. To be perfectly honest. From what I've seen of our history, our family history, we've been here a long time. So when it comes to immigration and stuff like that, I'm probably the last person. The only thing I can say is that I don't like illegal immigration for one reason. Dining Room has a pawn. For one reason and one reason only. And it's specifically illegal immigration. It allows corporations to take advantage of people. That's it. I know because I have worked with several individuals that may or may not have been documented. I didn't ask too many questions. Yes, I did say that. Dining room pawn. It was right there. Boop. So, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, one way or the other. But what I have seen in the times that I have worked with immigrants, recent immigrants, is that they have a tendency to downplay their usefulness to the corporation. They have a tendency to let the corporation, whoever they're working for, use them. Oh, okay. Use them and abuse them. One guy, worked overtime all the freaking time and refused to get paid for it. Not even just overtime pay. He refused to get paid for it because, as far as he understood, once you're over 40 hours, that's what you get paid for the job. If it took him longer to do the job than 40 hours, that was on him. Like, it was this mental block because that's how he was taught. And to me, that's just straight up BS. That's allowing somebody to, and no matter how much I tried to talk to him about that, that's not how it's done. That's not how we do it here. He didn't believe me. He didn't want to make waves. I think he believed me, but he didn't want to make waves. And then the boss fired me. So I reported the usage of, that they weren't paying for overtime. And apparently that lost a lot of people their jobs, and I felt really bad about it. I don't know if it was because they were undocumented. I'm not going to make judgments. I'm not going to say anything one way or the other. I just know that I felt really bad because I was trying to do something good. And because I did, basically everybody got fired. Pawn in the den. Go south. The next time you enter boudoir. Next time you enter walk-in closet. Well, I don't have gym. I have a gym. I can still get around that. Do I have a way forward? I have the den. Okay, I will do this. Because I know we've been in here. Hey, the queen. Get an additional effect of each constellation observed in the observatory. So I don't know if I made anybody mad or anything with my actions or with what I've said. And that's not my intent. Does it ever? And I'm not trying to be a know-it-all here. I'm trying to specifically say I don't. The few times I've tried to help, it's harmed more than it's helped. And that was never my intention. Which part? When I said, my big problem with illegal immigration was the fact that it's exploitation. Can't do that because it'll lock it off. I have to go with the classroom. Oh, no, I wasn't going to say tough. It's like, educate me. I'm not 100%, I tried and I didn't realize how bad it was going to go for a few of my coworkers. Because it ended up doing a big investigation and a bunch of people either lost their jobs or left or whatnot. I'm not exactly sure on what happened. Oh my God. Oh, I can redraw. I got to go with the pool hall. And I don't ever mean to offend anybody. That's never my intent. I'm just an ignorant white boy that's happened to live in some very. I've lived in a couple of places where I was the minority. What? 12 minus 11, 1. 12 minus 11, 1. 1. Because 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 4 is 4. I am. One place I went to school, I had in my class, like in my sophomore year in Southern California, in the sophomore class, there was 5 white guys. The rest were all minorities. Now, there was more white people in the school, but in my specific year, there was only 5. There was 5 white guys and I think like 3 or 4 white girls. Dagnabbit. 1, 1, 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Divided by 4 is 2. Yeah, so I've been in situations where, so the square 4 times 2 is 8. 8, 2. 10 minus 4 is 6, minus 5 is 1. The square of 1 is 1. Multiplied by 14 is 14. I am surprised that I did that so well. It's probably because I was focusing on what I was saying more than I was focusing on the math. And I didn't save the gem. So, Well, I have a perspective on things. I wouldn't say it's all ultimately unique, but I have an idea that, the plight of certain people and the issues they have going on. That it's not all easy peasy. I mean, one of my buddies in high school, his grandma still talked with a very thick German accent because she was, it was her first, she was the first generation. I mean, my buddy's middle name was Udo. And right now I'm just kind of looking around to see what I can find in rooms that I can get to. So it's not just, minority immigrants I'm familiar with. It's also, white. The black box is black. The black box is true. The black box is empty. Well, we know you're lying. We know you're telling the truth. And this one can go either way. Pawn in here, too. Pawn in the parlor. Yep. Black box is black. Black box is true. Black box is empty. So if this one is true, which is obvious, but if this one is true, then this one is false. I always look for the odd man out. And I think it was supposed to be white, but yeah, there we go. So you were lying, and you were lying. Interesting. I was hoping to get a rarer one. And I mean, it's just like with this whole foreign wars BS. If you don't really know what you're doing or why you're doing it, don't do it. It's like racist being racist for racist's sake, which, like, why? Like, do you really have a reason to be racist? Has anybody, wronged you? I've been wronged by more white guys than any other minority combined. That's just my feelings on it. Sorry, I realize nobody else is talking back, so I'll shut up. About that. I'll talk about the game. Oh, yeah. I love the art style. The art style in this, like I've said before, reminds me of an old game. I can get a gem out of the friggin' safe. An old game called 13 or XII. I. Sorry, give me a second. Right. I mean, And I think that's the biggest problem is that a lot of people don't know even how to educate themselves about politics. Because if you listen to one side, the others are liars, and vice versa. And everybody's just got to be so extreme, you know. And the big thing is that both right and left are so extreme that you're constantly seen as, if you take a more central viewpoint, the right will call you a leftist and the lefts will call you a rightist. It's extreme either way is what you're seen as. Even though you're just like, well, look, I just want everybody to live kind of in peace. I don't think we need to sit here and tell everybody else how to live. Yeah, I was pretty sure package delivered. Where is it delivered? Oh, one sleeping mask, 2 gems, and 2 keys. Nice. And that's the greatest take I can give you about politics right now, is that it's so extreme. It's just like any other fandom. They all have their own little, in jokes and blah blah blah. But I mean, in reality, it's because everybody's so freaking extreme that everybody looks like everybody else is crazy, or they look at everybody else as if they're crazy for having views slightly different. It's not even major differences. But, what's even funnier is just how different politics is from when I was a kid. You look at Bill Clinton and what he did, he would look almost right wing right now in today's day and age. He had a hard immigration stance. He was trying to help big business. It's basically the right wing stance right now. Which I'm not saying is good or bad. I'm just saying the simple fact is that, you know, somebody that was considered a complete liberal lefty from history is almost right wing now. So I mean, where does that put anything else? I said I was going to stop talking about it. And what do? I keep talking about it. I mean, not that you guys are complaining or anything, but you're also silent, so I don't know if I'm stepped on my, if I've hoisted myself on my own petard, or if it's one of those times where you guys are interested in what I'm saying and are just listening because you're listening. Well, I don't have any bedrooms, and I think the workshop is more important. And a lot of people don't have an idea or an opinion. I think everybody should just take a look and see the reality. Well, I do speak from my heart. Sometimes that gets me in trouble. Sometimes I don't think before I speak and I say something rather ignorant, and then it's like, oh, wait, that's not what I meant, or that's not how I meant it. So like I said, I'm just all for everybody being happy, being loved for who they are. I think we need to practice caution on telling people on who they should be and what they should believe. Because I don't know. I think the only thing I can say about what people should believe is that everybody has a right to express their opinion to the best of their ability and to be happy, healthy. I'm a firm believer that, just to understand how radical some of my ideas could be, I'm a firm believer that we need to socialize, the basics of human health. We need to socialize medicine, we need to socialize housing, and we need to socialize food and utilities. Yeah, the bedroom has a huge pond. Wait, the chapel should have a bishop in it, yeah. Well, here what I mean by socialize is that you socialize medicine, healthcare, but you keep it capitalist by allowing people freedom of movement. Like, okay, you go to a doctor. I'm just saying that when it comes down to if my health and well being is up to your bottom line, like if you make profit off of my health and well being, and the longer I'm in a middle state of health, I can't trust you. Like, I legit can't trust a corporation or, anything that profits off of my mediocre or ill health. Like, I mean, I think anybody that gets an amputation should just get a prosthetic. Like, bring them back to good. Well, that would make them both true. And the white box is blank. So the gems are in a box with a statement. The gems are in the black box, which would make both of them liars. And I'm all for losing half my income to taxes if I was wrong. So that was a ridiculous logic puzzle. If it means that people are being better taken care of, if I'm better taken care of, if I have to lose, 40, 50% of my income so that I don't have to worry. I haven't had the tunnel yet. Then it says always draft a tunnel. So I could tunnel again. But what purpose is that serving? I want to do it again. This one I won't. I want my money, my taxes, to go to something worthwhile. That's all I want. I know people scream and cry about, no taxation without representation. I want taxation with a benefit. Well, it does me no good to rotate anything but the dove coat. Yeah, I'm going to have it go backwards on itself. Hey, birdies. I was hoping there might actually be something in here. Haha. Dear Mother, if you are reading this, that means Junie made it home safely. I imagine he's going to be quite tired after such a long flight. So make sure he gets some treats and rest. School is going well, though I do miss you terribly. Unfortunately, even though the dean gave me permission to keep my birds here on campus, I'm afraid it's getting a bit too cold for them as the semester marches on. So I've made the decision to send them all home before the winter months arrive. All that to say, expect more letters soon. Dearest Mother, this should be the 5th letter you've received from me this month, though I know statistically it is very unlikely that every single member of my flock has found their way home. And please, please don't tell me if they didn't arrive. It's going to be hard enough now that I am truly on my own. In other news, my classes have been engaging, and I am slowly making friends, so please ignore the dramatic despair of previous letters. Things are indeed looking brighter, but I still maintain that 3 years is too long a time to be away from home. Mary. Herbert, thank you so much for your gift of the wedding doves, whom I, of course, recognized immediately. And yes, I got the hint. So here's your letter. I know it's long, long overdue. The Mayhew life suits me, I think. Not that I didn't love Mount Holly, of course, but after years of being confined in a tiny dormitory, the small place Daniel and I have picked out in Reddington feels more like a stately manor. Once we've finished unpacking and setting everything up, I'll insist on you making an exception to your reclusive lifestyle to come share a meal and admire our somewhat less impressive but much more personal view of the town. Thank you again for the card. Mary. We are returning east and should arrive on Tuesday. If coast is not clear, lower the SD to warn us. Sup, Tom? How are you this evening? You're 2 places at once-ish. And of course, I get the gift shop now. It just came out of a food coma, huh? Okay. Dare mode. Oh. That's a permanent addition to the dining room. When you reach rank 5 with Lunchbox, gain half your dinner steps. And I don't know what point that is, so I'm going to save my money. I think security? Said questioningly. Ooh, splurging got pizza. Oh, pizza good. Right? Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, dude. Okay, I haven't missed anything. Since I don't have a key card, I'm better off keeping the keys. Keeping it at keys. Right? Yeah, I was kind of actually wondering about you. I figured one more day that I hadn't really heard a whole lot from you, I was going to check in on you, dude. See if you were doing okay. Because you haven't been your usual talkative self. Let's go down. And like I've said before, I'm just exploring right now. Yeah, I know. And that's kind of what I figured. Well, here pretty soon, my sleep schedule may not be the nicest to me. Wood-fired pizza, which means I need the furnace, if I remember right, to make that better. Closed exhibit. But I have the protection. I'm curious. I have protection from red. Oh, still have a way to go forward. Oh, but I don't have the gems. Oh, nice. Oh, you haven't had your night-night medicine. That's why you're having issues. Bro, that sucks. I only did this because I wanted the keys, because I don't think I have the, yeah. I think I already read this letter. Yep, okay. See, that's a boon, dude. Well, if I'm going to lock myself out of something, I might as well do the one that gets me coming back. Yeah, spreading items. Cog rooms. How many cog rooms do I have? Zilch. All right, so that's useless to me. Oh, I have two. Oh, I do have. I have three. So there's three doors. I only need two. Should I get back to the courtyard? Wait, a door here? Wait, what? I didn't know the Mechanarium had that. Mechanarium. So you can get corner rooms too? Or corner doors? Yeah, right. Yeah. Sleep is very important to stabilizing mood. I'm glad your doctors seem to care about that. Here, corridor, den. See, again, this is why I think universal health care paid for by the people is very important. Super useless. Like I was saying before, I think my taxes going to a universal health care is much better than going to subsidies and some BS, you know, thing I don't even care about. Whether it's war, whether it's some politician's pocket. No, I understand. See, I'm actually like really weird. I'm like a social guy, but I can also be like super alone, and it doesn't bother me. Like just sitting here chatting with you guys is enough for me. Well, yeah, it is. I mean, like the kids thinking about basically moving to closer to school with the people she's staying with, which are really cool people. I have no issues with that. I think that's actually a really good idea. It'll be well, they're the joints on the bees, like kind of like a middle joint. There's like a little knee apparently there. At least that's what I've been told my whole life. See, okay, and here's the thing. I think introvert is misused. Introverts are very selective with the people they care about and with the people they want to be around. It's not that they're introverts, it's not that they don't particularly like people, they just don't like the false feeling. Ah, I forgot how to do this temporarily because I'm an idiot. I don't know if I can make it a different color. Okay, so purple. Well, I can be very gregarious. I don't mind meeting new people. I don't mind going. That's a white light. Sorry, I got lost in the puzzle. I'm an introvert to a certain degree. I'm very selective with who I consider friend, but there's a lot of people I consider acquaintances. Yeah, asocial. I'm not antisocial. It's like I don't hate people. It's just sometimes I don't feel like being around people. I don't have the social battery for it. Oh, I completely ignored his comment about calling us jerks. He knows better. Right. Well, exactly. That was one thing that, being on ship really taught me was that I'm actually pretty self sufficient. Like I said, he knows better. How do I make the last one? But I want it off. No, I want you to be. Well, you know, Tom, there's a real easy with that. Real easy way to cut off, especially online relationships. You stop responding. You just take a big steppy back. I find it funny you didn't include me in that number. I feel almost slighted. I want to be a villain too. I deserve to be a villain. Well, it keeps me going for. Thank you, Tom. How am I a hero? All I do is talk to you people. Sometimes I have bad takes, sometimes I have cold takes, sometimes I have hot takes. I don't know. I try to play games and entertain people. That's not being a hero. That's just me being me. Right, everybody wants to be a villain. Not to tout my own music, but I made a song about this. It's called Villain and Proud. Yes, I'm a hero, not a hero. I'm a hero. That means anti hero, without heroic qualities. And I know, I'm joking. I'm actually surprised the. Right? I'm actually surprised Raven's still streaming. Oh my god, no. Oh, what was that old wrestler's name? Bam Bam? Star schedule. Survey of constellations observed at Mount Holly Observation. Constellations: North Star, the Twins, the Slice, Diamondus Minor, Southern Cross, the Twins, Diamondus Minor, Farmer's Apple, Clavis, the Key, Diamondus Minor, Southern Cross, the Slice, Farmer's Apple, Diamondus Major, Draxus the Dead. Oh, okay. Bam Bam Bigelow, thank you. Yes, I would look like him. Draxus the Dead, Southern Cross, Clavis the Key, the Slice, Diamondus Minor, Farmer's Apple, the Sail, Southern Cross, Diamondus Major, the Twins, Farmer's Apple, Clavis the Key, the Slice, the Sail. Yeah, I know. Other notable night skies observed. 29th, the first appearance of both Diamondus Minor and major in the same sky. Okay, well, he's one up on me. 7 different constellations observed in a single night, and 50 new constellations spotted. All right, so crap. That's a. Well, we're at 21, and I'm going to call it a day.